Hey team, on our Wednesday nights we have been working strength classes, which are a great way to develop strength in a safe way, getting familiar with lifting weights and kettlebells so that we can start to go a little bit heavier and really bring in those good feels in the body. Weightlifting is super fun, it feels really empowering, and when you learn the technique of it, it's quite mechanical, you can then start to lift heavier and then that will then reflect into the body as well. I'm going to take you through what we have been doing in this new block on the Wednesday nights in the 5:15 strength class. It is a 4-part kettlebell complex, and I'm going to take you through those 4 moves right now so that you can practice them and get over using the kettlebell and feel confident to do so as well. First one is just understanding the transition of the kettlebell. When we work into our clean, we actually want to really make sure that the kettlebell comes up through the midline of the body. From this front position here, you can see that I've got the kettlebell in the middle of the body here. I've got my core on and I'm bending my knees and I'm keeping my spine flat. So if I go from the side here, you can see this is my start position here. As I pull up, the kettlebell comes up through the center. It's an explosive movement as I'm lifting through that space to then transition. You'll notice that I have an overhand grip on the kettlebell and an internal rotation of the right shoulder joint. When we finish the movement, there is an external rotation and the kettlebell sits on the side here. In this particular video, I'm going to use the slow-mo tool and slow this down so you can see the transition because I can't slow it down myself. So this is the movement as it looks like. This is your kettlebell clean. Core on, bending into the knees, nice flat back, so we're engaged. I'm going to bring it up through the center of the body and then rest it on the elbow into show. You see that I've got a soft knee bend catching the kettlebell, and from the side, I'm here. So I'm going to repeat that a few times in this position here. You'll see that the bell goes straight up and I get under it. It's very, very similar to a barbell. That's why I really want to use kettlebells in this weightlifting class, in the strength class. So overhand grip, core on, eyes forward, nice, strong, straight spine, up, catch. Cool. Again, set the movement, internal rotation, it rotates in and around. We don't want to knock the kettlebell on the side of the shoulder. So as I'm working into this, the transition happens about here. I bring the elbow underneath and it lands on the side of the elbow joint. Right, so again, moving through the kettlebell clean, long straight arm, internal rotation, core on, flat back. From the side. That is your kettlebell clean. Again, I'd really like us to start to use kettlebells in this strength class. It might take a little while to get it, but this is what it's all about. And they're a great tool other than a barbell to develop strength and to get the rotation, not only through the shoulder joint, but right through the obliques as well. Cool. The second part of the movement is we go into a lunge. So after the cleans, or cleaning the kettlebell up, you'll finish in this rack position. You then keep the kettlebell in the rack position and we step back for a kettlebell lunge. In the complex, in the class, we have 5 kettlebell lunges on each side. Once you've done 5, you hold onto the bell, right? We come into what's called a front squat. So moving through this, most of you are quite familiar with your front squat. Tailbone nice and long, weight through the heels, holding onto the bell. From the front squat, we then move into a kettlebell deadlift. It's a hip hinge movement. So you'll notice that my back is nice and flat. There is a soft knee bend, right? And I'm making sure I'm growing long in the torso. So my butt goes backwards, crown of head forward, and eyes are also following my head. I'm not looking up, I'm not tucking in. It is a hip hinge movement, right? So that is the complex. I'm going to go through the full complex as to what we have in the class on the Wednesday nights. And maybe you'd like to join us as well. It's a really great complex. It's a great way to start to develop strength. You will get your heart rate up and a really big compound movements that are so important for every single human being. So let's go through the complex. We have 3 cleans on each side, 5 lunges on each side, 7 front squats and 9 deadlifts. Looks like this. When we lunge, you want to make sure, of course, that the knee is over the ankle joint. So we're lucky enough to use the mirrors there so you guys can check that out. Right, and again, our knee is a hinge joint. So it's super important that it's tracking that position. So 5 lunges each side. Grounding down into that tripod of the front foot. After you've done your 5, we grab the bell, your hip distance, 7 front squat. Eyes forward, sink into the heels, toes nice and light. Definitely bringing in a bit of a sweat. And then we have 9 deadlifts. It's called a straight leg deadlift or a Romanian. It's a hip hinge movement. Scapula is engaged. I'm not rolling forward in my shoulders at all. Getting right into the back of the posterior chain, the hamstrings. So I'm right on my heels, core on, flat back, scapula engaged. And that is the complex that we're working on at the moment for the next 4 weeks at Redhead for the strength class on the Wednesday nights, 5:15. Come and join us.